Hello YouTube, this is Carl, or that BMX guy. Today, I'm going to change some things. Well, I'm not going to change the crank yet, but it's planned to change the front hub, which is a profile micro mini hub. It's a little bit smaller than the normal hubs. I got it in like 2015. Lately it was developing a little bit of side-to-side play, and I just changed the bearings to see how it does. And the issue really is that it didn't slow down so quickly with the original bearings. It did develop play, but now it kind of does. So I bought a kind of hub to match the rear Totem hub, right? So I got the Totem hub on there. So I got this 28 hole lead hub, which is technically what the Totem front hub was anyway, but this one's 28 hole. So I'm going to put this in place of the Micro Mini because it's smooth from the factory. At least I believe it is. Just like that was smooth from the factory. I had that thing since 2015, like I said, so it's just good to replace parts after a while. I don't know how many miles I put on that hub. Here's a better view. But it used to like to spin forever when I did this. Like it spins okay, but before it just wouldn't stop. So even though this is lasting maybe, I don't know, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 16 seconds before it stops, it used to just go on for maybe minutes. It doesn't seem to be doing that with the new bearings. So I figure maybe it just needs to go. It just needs to be replaced. I don't know. One thing about it, it just seems like the narrow flanges kind of cause the front wheel to flex a little more. And if they were, the spokes are wider. The cone of the spokes, or the triangulation is, normally wider than what these are. So it's no big deal. I've been just wanting to have, actual matching hubs. This rear one, like I said, I got it from somebody in Texas in 2018 or 19. And it has that little, description for how many holes it is. So it's also laser etched instead of inscribed. Like they used to be inscribed, and if you look at this Totem, this is the retired Totem. I just keep it just in case. But it's like it's milled letters versus laser etched letters. It's kind of hard to tell the difference with the phone. At least how I can see. Also, maybe it's like fading a little bit. I don't know. They'll give me some extra, concave washers or whatever they are. But I bought this with titanium bolts too, so I have another set of tie bolts for whatever reasons. Yeah, so I'm going to lace the new hub to this wheel, or this rim. This is a Velocity A23. Have these Wheelsmith double-butted 14-gauge spokes, and I got more alloy nipples that are actually complete. I'm going to actually lace it a little bit different too. So this one is 3-cross, so 1, 2, 3. So we got 3 crossing spokes of 1 spoke, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 between 2 crossing spokes. Because I never figured out why they decided to call this 3-cross or 4 cross or 5 cross, or I'm going to do 2 cross. So there's going to be 2 spokes crossing 1 spoke, or it's actually just going to be 2 spokes between 2 crossing spokes. Whatever it's going to be, it's just going to be intended to either try to make the wheel stiffer or try to make the wheel lighter and stiffer at the same time. But we're just changing it to a new hub. It doesn't necessarily matter. I think I'm going to gain weight because this hub is 7 ounces with the tie bolts, and this hub, when it had steel bolts, was 6 ounces. So this is still probably what, 5 ounces, something like that. And I'm not going to really gain any loss, but I don't know. Anyway, we're going to lace this guy, and it shouldn't take too long because it's 28 spokes versus 36. It's just a matter of getting the tire off, getting the rim strip out, hoping I have enough rim strip to put back in there, and these nipples coming off these spokes. Because, like, what I want to do in the future, after this video, I'm going to put Wheelsmith spokes on this wheel, because I got 184s coming, and I have just enough 182s to do the other side also. And I'm just going to use the brass nipples, so it's going to add a little bit of weight to the back wheel, but I just rather not deal with alloy nipples. I just know that after a while they'll decide to oxidize to the spokes, and that's just not that good. But I haven't really even had bad luck with this, but I don't know. I just want to have peace of mind with brass. I could do brass in the front too, but I kind of wanted to do alloy nipples in the front because that's taking all the forces of pedaling and my whole body weight on it or anything, so the front should be perfectly fine with the alloy nipples. So yeah, let me get this wheel off. Okay, so we got an 8mm or 5/16. Let's quick release the brake. Should be like pretty easy. It's done in seconds. The thing I like about the Paul motor light is that it does quick release really easily. Spin that off a little bit. As you see, that wheel came off a lot quicker than any quick release will ever do. So here we have the tire off. You see I'm using the the Velocity Velo tape. And I just do that. I know some people say, oh, you shouldn't do that. But it seems to work fine. I don't get flat tires from that or anything. I'm not running tubeless. I have a tube. See? Tube. Tubes are for racing also. I like to point that out. Because you should use new tires for every race. I'm just saying that. Anyway, we have the rim strip still on there, so I gotta take that off. I'm gonna try to recycle it because I have more of this tape, but I don't know if I have enough to make 2 layers. Because there has to be 2 layers or it can't handle enough pressure. And even with 2 layers, it doesn't really look like it's working that great, but it didn't cut through, so this is fine. Let me take that stuff off. So we got the tape out. These were custom, by the way. So what's custom is that it's a gloss polished black anodizing versus flat. I made a video on building these, but I wasn't that detailed in it. I just sort of assembled them and showed them. So yeah, let's take this guy off. There's no corrosion inside. I didn't get caught in... Yeah, I'm not even sure if I got caught in any rainstorms with these new rims. But yeah, that's the thing. When you get caught in a rainstorm, that's when these nipples will try to seize. Because the water gets into them, and it's kind of like telling you a lot. But These should come off pretty easily, so let's just take these off. And so I started taking them off. There's no corrosion that I see there. So yeah, I don't know. Not even marked up really. It's always a good idea to use new ones if you take them off, because they get scarred around the edges, and it's aluminum. It'll just shear it eventually. Just still in really good shape. I don't know. Yeah, it shouldn't take too long for me. I'm not gonna make you go through watching it. I'll just show you them all out of the hub and rim. Okay, so it's all unlaced. Got the micro mini hub out there. So looking at it, it's not too chewed up. Like usually there's always a mark from the outside spokes, and I didn't let it get that beat up. The rim itself, still like no. I mean, it's mine. The spokes, these are the spokes that were on it. Kind of separate them so I can maybe use them again with that hub on maybe another one of these rims. But the nipples themselves, they kind of have a little bit of scoring around the edges in some of them. So they're probably just going to get tossed. These are the nipples. I'll just keep the spokes, whatever. These were 189s, 189 millimeter. And I thought they were just a little bit too short, meaning I kind of prefer the whole spoke to go at least right to the edge of the slot in the nipple, and that's what they didn't do. They were kind of like about 4 millimeters short of that, or 2 millimeters actually. With that wheel right there, the original spokes, the calculated was like 181 on the high flange side and 183 on the low flange side, and it just seemed too short. It's like the Pro Wheel Builder website, it kind of aims for using, these are the 12 millimeter nipples, it aims for using like 16 millimeters I guess. So I always go 2 millimeters longer. That's why I have the 182s going on here versus the 180s, as it says on their website. So it's 180 because I'm using this pattern of 2 cross instead of 3 cross that I was doing with this one. I guess I could have made this 2 cross, but yeah, I just know like the bearings, I don't know, after a while these hubs just start, you know, need to be replaced. The old hubs didn't seem to have any issues, but like you got an ultralight hubs like this, it's just not intended to last forever. So it's a cool little hub, but yeah, you can see the difference in lots of ways. You can see how the flange, from flange to flange, there might be a good 3/8 difference. You can see how the height of the flange versus one to the other is a little bit taller too, like the radius. The center is obviously fatter on this one. So it was definitely a lighter hub, but just a little too light in my opinion. Also, if the axle were to wear out, I can't get the axle even from profile, because they don't have them, or they don't answer me whenever I send questions about it. So the axle in this one is a 15 millimeter axle versus 17. So and also the middle is skinnier. It's like even the inside is skinnier than that one. So if I were to get one of these and mill out the end, I have to mill out the middle too. And it's just easier to have, you know, a hub that I know is gonna have parts versus not. So I'll get this started. We have the fresh batch of alloy nipples. We got the ones that I had left over. Got some grease for the heads of the nipples when they go into the rim, and for the threads. I'm going to start out lacing a little bit, and I'll show you how I'm starting it. Otherwise, we start putting things where they need to be and get the wrenches ready. We got screwdriver, we got ZT 14 gauge wrench, grease, rim, hub. Yeah, let me just start this thing. Okay, so after some trial and error, figured out where the spoke goes about. So the goal really is when you look at that, I kind of want it so, you know, once it's right side up, it would say Velocity A23. That's no big deal. But we also want to make sure that this logo is facing the valve head of the tube. And that's also important. That's just what I do for my key spoke. So I'll just get this whole side done and I'll show you it finishing this side. Okay, so here we have the first side of spokes, the insides on the non-drive side. So they're all on there. I gotta do the other side. I already got the key spokes, so I already know where to start. So let's just look for that. So, I'll just keep saying so. Generally, I think that's the valve hole there. I just can't see it in the camera. You want the spoke that's on this side to go to the hole right here. There's a hole there. I don't know if you can see it. So if this hole is in front of that one, right? That's the hole it goes to. Like that. But first I'm going to grease the head and then I'll do all the rest of them. I'll show you the rest of them. And then I'll show you how they angle into place and they're perfect for the next group. The other thing about these Wheelsmith spokes is that they have to be formed to the hub because they have a tighter radius, I guess, at the J bend. But yeah, we'll finish this side and I'll show you it done on this side. Okay, so there we have the drive side started. They're all in there. So it's kind of hard to see, but we'll try to get you to see it. That is the valve hole. So what we try to do is we try to twist this to where I can't tell one hand. So let me twist it. Okay, so after some fighting, but yeah, they're all twisted and ready to be crossed with the other spokes. So those two are next to that valve hole. Trying to scratch the crap out of the rim with stuff. Yeah, just like check that stuff. Definitely want to scratch them when it's a new rim. At least this rim is like what, 2 years old now? 3 years old? I don't know. I forget. To get started on the other side, we're only doing 2 cross, so where is that? That's the valve hole. So we'll just go 2 over. That's what 2 cross kind of looks like. It's just you're crossing 2 spokes with 1 spoke, but technically only 2 between the 2 spokes. It's not going to be easy, but I'll try to get it there. So yeah, there we got it. So start lacing this side up and I'll show you the finished product. But the most important thing is profile racing, velocity, valve hole, all in line. Okay, so there we have the first complete side. This is still the non-drive side. So it's 2 cross, so yeah. On to the next one. And then we'll be able to tension it. Okay, so finishing up this side. I just want to show my technique on getting the spokes or nipples in. So I put, this is an old spoke, and I put the spoke on backwards. And to get it into the hole, you just kind of just push it through and like sit like that. Just hold it still and push this other spoke into that. I can't do it with one hand, but you get the idea. Yeah. So that's it, like that. You just take a spoke wrench and just thread it back in and pull this one off. And that way you don't lose the nipple inside the rim. And I did that basically for all these on both outside spokes. So yeah. Okay, so both sides are all together, or all the spokes are on there. Now just tension them. There are ways to seat them. You can try to use a screwdriver or an adjusting wrench or something. I just keep try to have tools in videos, but you just can't do it. Meaning, like, it's just something I can't do or haven't been able to do. But you know, you can just, you know, work the spokes together. Try to hold everything with your foot. Just make sure everything's seated. You might do this a couple of times. So the idea is, like, you just kind of stretch out the J-bends to seat them. Yeah, someone's gonna say, "Oh, you shouldn't do it like that." But yeah, whatever. That's what I do. These wheels seem to last me a very long time. Staying straight anyway. But anyway, I'm gonna just tension this up, put it on the stand, and try to show you the finished product. So we have the wheel in the stand, and I got it straight as I can get it. Try to get it balanced so you can't see any hop. One important thing I look at is I try to make it so the spokes go to the base of the slot in each nipple. It's also an easy way to figure out if the wheel is dished correctly. It's kind of hard to try to measure it. Measuring tape, there is a disc gauge, but even this gauge is too big for these wheels because everything's raced against 20-inch wheels. Generally, it's about 8 1/4 to the top of each bolt, so that should be dead in the middle. I just gotta get it on the bike, take it for a spin out in the neighborhood, and then retension the spokes because alloy spokes like this seat. So I gotta get that blue rim strip back on and get it back on the bike, and yeah, I'll get you looking at that. Okay, so while we're here, get this on the scale and make sure this is tared. See how much this wheel weighs. 1 pound 6 ounces. Is it lighter than? Probably not. I think that wheel right there is 1 pound 5. So does it make a difference? It just adds more weight. I don't know. How much is that in kilograms? 60, 61. Generally, that other hub was 2 ounces lighter. So let's do that again. 60. Yeah, 1 pound 6 ounces. So how much does a wheel with a Shimano Tiagra hub weigh? Same basic rim, even has the rim tape on it. That's 1 pound 6. Well, it should be. So, they're generally about the same weight. I mean, a lot of the weight increases because of. No, it's 1 pound 6 on this one too. So I don't know. They're all going to be about the same weight. So you get the tiny hubs. But let me get this thing on the bike. So we got the wheel on. Should look fine. Seems they're all about the same as the other one anyway. And let me flip this thing over. So right now, I'm just going to ride the bike maybe a few laps, work in that wheel. Back in the house, put on the trim stand and check this book tension. It might take them like at least a week to see. Or I just gotta like load up the backpack with U-Lock, 6-pack or something. You know, they got a seat in. That's the problem with the outlet nipples is that it takes a while for them to seat. Otherwise, say it looks fine. Now front and rear hubs actually match. And everything's lined up the way it should be. Anyway, hope you enjoyed watching me lace that wheel up, and I don't know, hopefully you understood me. I have more situations to come. I'll just get to them eventually. Anyway, this is That BMX Guy, and thanks for watching.